rocking horse.
With your host, Louisa Barton.
I want to be a famous rider. I should like to race.
Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital.
Truth is, I help horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton.
Yeah, baby.
The Larson family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations, with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larson Hay loves to meet new customers while always honouring the ones they already have. Find Larson Hay on the web at larsonhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor. I'm Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show here at Niall Brennan Stables. This is a world-class operation in the training of 2-year-old thoroughbreds, getting them ready to be major contenders in the stakes races. I'm here with the family that runs this farm. I've got Niall and Colin Brennan here with me. Just a quick mention on my neck. I'm a couple of months out from breaking it, having a metal plate put in my neck. So some of my turning and rotation still very difficult. So I just wanted to let you know, if you see some awkward motion in my turns during the interview, I'm healing and slowly getting better. So I'm going to start with Niall, and I want to talk to him a little bit about how long they've been here, how long this operation has been in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world, and have him tell us a little bit about how many horses they have here and kind of the basis of everything that goes on at this facility. Niall, thank you for being with us. Tell us a little bit about the operation. How long have you been here in Ocala?
Oh, well, I've been in Ocala since 1987. I think it was the first time I came here in the fall to work for George Steinbrenner at his farm, who had the Yankees. And I was only supposed to stay here a year, but I worked for George for 3 years. And then one thing led to another. We kind of just loved Ocala and kind of branched out on our own and started an operation where we leased a barn, leased a farm. And then we progressed to where we bought this farm and developed it in 1999. So we really had it up and running fully in 2000.
Well, we're certainly glad you decided to stay, Niall.
Yeah, I know. Ocala's been home. I mean, it's a long way from Ireland, but there's quite a few Irish actually here now in Ocala that are in the thoroughbred business, in the horse business. So I love it. It's been home. We travel a lot, obviously, in the horse industry. It's a global industry, so we've got clients in Europe, Japan, and so we do get to travel a lot. But this is home.
Colin, tell us a little bit about how many horses you have on the farm on an annual basis, and kind of some of your training startups. Obviously, you start them under saddle, so if you can tell us a little bit about that procedure.
It varies during the time of the year, but generally we'll break approximately 140, 150 head of 2-year-olds each year. And then naturally in the winter time, there will be layups that come in from the racetrack. And then in the slow season, which would be the summertime for us, we're able to give everyone a bit of vacation, and we'll cut it down to about 50 head and just go through the motions in the summertime.
Wow, 50 head even sounds like a lot. Tell us a little bit about how you start them when you get them under saddle. First of all, do you have any particular trainers that you follow for that, or do you have your own methods, and kind of what do you do here that may be a little different or you think may be better to start them that way?
It's kind of changed over the years, but of course starting with that and starting with more of a horsemanship approach and a natural approach, we try to take our time with them. We do plenty of stall work and groundwork, and then gradually let the horses tell us when they're ready to move up to each stage. And generally we'll take from the time we start them to the time that they're loping on the track would be about a month, 3 weeks to a month. So they progress pretty quickly, but again, each one is an individual, and we try to keep them together, comfort in numbers, just the natural aspect of the horse.
It's wonderful. You said something really cool this morning about you could be blindfolded in a stall feeling some legs. Can you repeat that for us on camera?
Well, although it is a large operation, we do pay very close attention to them, and between myself or Dad or anyone else in management, we make sure to lay hands on every single horse every day. So we're very familiar with them. We know their personalities. We can walk in and just feel their legs and check them, and we know who the horse is without having to identify them any other way.
I think that's absolutely amazing. Niall, tell us a little bit about some of your real well-known stakes winners that over the years have come up. I know there's a lot of great names out there on the jockeys. I saw them. Tell us about a few of those.
Well, Lucy, we've been blessed over the years to just have had a lot of good horses through our program, and a lot of that's due to the clientele we have too, and the partners that we've had. Obviously, we're probably starting with the Kentucky Derby winners of Orb, and that was owned by the Phipps-Janney family and trained by Shug McGee, and wonderful tradition with their families in the business and breeding and raising and racing the Derby winner. And then we also had Nyquist. He was a horse that we bought with my partner Mike Ryan as a yearling, as a pinnock, and we resold at the 2-year-old sales. And he was bought by Dennis O'Neill and, of course, trained by his brother Doug O'Neill, and he won the Derby. And then we had Palace Malice, who did not win the Derby, but he won the Belmont, which is another leg of the Triple Crown, and was a multiple graded stakes winner and a successful sire now. And so, it progressed on from there with Breeders' Cup winners, and in recent years we had, of course, Gunrunner, and even last year we had Mystic Guide, who was a Godolphin, owned by Godolphin, and recently won the Dubai World Cup. So, like as I said, we've been blessed to have so many good horses through the program, and it's exciting for the whole crew because it's what keeps you going, especially the young horses every year, the next crop, the next rookies that we're working out and trying to see who's the next Tom Brady. And that's what our job is to develop the talent and try to put them in a spot that they can achieve their greatest.
Now, can you spot them as early as, of course, the horses are here at the stage before they even go into the sale? Are there any that you can sort of like earmark and say, oh, this one's, probably going to be a top horse?
We like to think so. I mean, they're athletes, and like any athlete, they progress quickly. When we get to the spring now, so February, March, April, as we are, they're doing enough that we can usually tell the ones that obviously have natural ability, natural speed, and they're progressing physically and mentally in the right way. And it'd be no different than teenagers in school that are playing different sports, the ones that just stand out and just have that extra natural gift that they have. But with horses, they don't talk to us in the same way as humans can. So they show you signs and you got to pay attention. Some might have a lot of physical ability, athletic talent, but they're mentally not tuned in. And those are a little more fragile. If you push them too soon, maybe you kind of destroy their confidence. So there are a couple of different aspects of developing them, but in general, if they've got talent, you're going to see it. If they don't, or they don't have the right attitude, they might have talent and just have a bad attitude, just like some people do. And they might have the talent, but they don't turn out to achieve greatness because they don't set their mind to it.
And then, Colin, you said something this morning I was really interested in. It's kind of a bit of a British technique about having horses that are training both on your incredible dirt track, but also the turf. And then if they take to the turf, taking them to it more often, and some of kind of the undulations in the ground and everything. And I love that, being a Brit. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, naturally, growing up with an Irish emphasis and hearing Dad and Granddad talk about Irish training and spending time, and thanks to the Flying Start and in Europe and being able to see their training methods, we like to utilize it, and especially with the turf influence more notable lately in the US, we'll try to take all the 2-year-olds over to the turf course at least once a year. And as I mentioned, if they appear to like it, or they have the pedigree for it, or any sort of suggestive manner that they would prefer the turf, we'll take them over a couple times throughout the season. And not only that, it's a great tool for nervous fillies or horses that have come off the track and they're tired of the monotony of the round dirt track, and they can go over to the turf, enjoy the undulations, enjoy the nice open gallop, and I think it does a lot for them mentally. It's something different, and it's very helpful to them.
Yeah, I'm impressed by that. I think it's good for the muscles and everything. Just thinking of the horses in Newmarket going out on the heath and getting some of that different terrain. I think it's a wonderful way to train them. So I'm real impressed by that. We are actually at the end of this segment, and unfortunately we have another one with the Brennan family that we're going to chat to them a little bit about the Derby that is coming up. So stay with us on the Horse Talk Show. I'm Louisa Barton at Niall Brennan Stables.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
Are you ready to get loco? At Loco Graphics, every dollar matters to provide your ideas brought to life. Loco Graphics strives to get your message across and impact your customers, offering logo design, vehicle wraps, business cards, banners and more. Make your business shine and showcase who you are with nothing but the highest quality materials. The difference is in the details. Impact your potential customers with Loco Graphics. Like them on Facebook now and find them on the web at locographics.com.
This show is sponsored in part by Hilton Garden Inn. Downtown Louisville, only 5 miles from Churchill Downs. Enjoy the 2 most exciting minutes in sports, plus a hearty breakfast and a mimosa, and let Hilton Garden Inn do the rest.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I'm Louisa Barton with the Horse Talk Show, and I am here at Niall Brennan Stables, a world-class training facility bringing some of the best horses in the country to the starting gates. Thrilled to be here with the family that run this, Niall and Colin Brennan, and we've been chatting to them a little bit about some of the things that they do here to ensure success for their clients and horses here at the training facility. They've had such amazing successes in their career that in the Breeders' Cup and the Triple Crown Series and a number of other top stakes races across the country. So we're very excited, obviously, about the upcoming Kentucky Derby. This year, of course, we'll be there in person and bringing you as much as we can of the coverage of the Ocala County Connections. We love our sponsors, Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital, who are a presenting sponsor, who make it possible for us to even do any of this. Also, of course, to Seminole Feed Stores, the Equus Inn, newly renovated Equine Features Hotel, which we love there on College Road, and also, of course, to the Hilton Garden Inn downtown in Louisville, where we get to stay, and the CEP here in Ocala County, who support us bringing you all of the connections to the horse capital of the world. So, going to talk a little bit now about the Derby this year, and I think almost every year I can remember, Niall Brennan Stables has had a graduate in there, so it's very exciting this year again to be talking to them about that. Tell us a little bit about the Derby this year, Niall. Who are you excited about?
Well, I think we're obviously very excited that we've got a few graduates that are in the race. We've been fortunate or blessed to have so many nice horses, and having won the Derby twice, I guess, right now, before with Orb and Nyquist in past years. And this year there's 3 of the graduates that are in the race in Essential Quality, Strong Incentive, and Sainthood. So obviously we're very excited. The whole crew is excited. I mean, it's a culmination of a lot of work. I mean, it's a team effort. Obviously, we're only at the beginning stages of their development, and they get onto their trainers at the racetrack. And but it takes a lot to get to the Derby. They only get their 3-year-olds. They only get one shot at it. So there's a lot of planning goes into it, and you hope you have horses good enough and that stay healthy enough to get to the starting gate, and then it's obviously it's all excitement from there on.
So when you had these 3, obviously with this many horses training at a time, 150 horses sometimes training, do you remember these 3 specifically, and were they standouts for you when they were here, if you do?
Yeah, we remember them, certainly. I think, when we get to this stage of the year, horses are just like people. They have personalities, and you get to know them. Obviously, you're seeing them every single day, so we're like kids in a classroom. And they, people ask us that before, did you know this horse was going to win the Kentucky Derby? And the answer is, of course, no, with Orb or Nyquist. I mean, we're not that smart. If I was, I'd still own them. But I think we can see that they have talent, certainly. But a lot of horses can show you talent. We've got a lot of nicely bred horses here every year, and a lot of great clients. So there's a lot of horses that have talent. They just may not actually get to the Derby if things don't work out. But with Essential Quality, for example, he was just a typical Tappet, very attractive colt, a lot of presence, a lot of size and scope, and he kept improving. And when we were breezing, last spring, every week he'd get better and stronger, and his attitude, he loved it. The more we did, the more competitive he got. So you could tell that he had a lot of talent. We don't look past that. We just said, this is a very nice colt. Hopefully everything goes well for him. And then the same with Strong Incentive, who's trained by Chad Brown. By Into Mischief, and quite a typical Into Mischief. Very strong, great.
Bit naughty sometimes.
A little coltish, but he had a lot of class. They're boys, and sometimes they get a bit playful and fresh. But there's a difference between just feeling good and being common. But Strong Incentive had a lot of presence, a lot of strength, and again, Into Mischief, such a tremendous sire, and one of the great, I think, attributes of the Into Mischiefs is they're tough, they're hardy, and the more you do with them, the more they want to do it. They're very competitive, love their work, and Strong Incentive was very much like that. Again, he was very impressive in his breezes here all last spring when we sent him on to Chad in Saratoga in the summer. And I think he obviously progressed from there in Chad's program. And then with Sainthood, he was a colt that we'd actually had bought as a yearling as well, and sold him privately to Winstar as a 2-year-old here. And he's a little bit of he's a little bit odd in the sense that, or different. He's a first crop sire, Mishawish, and who is a turf horse, distance turf horse, and a very talented horse. And he's out of a Lemon Drop Kid mare. So really, he's bred to run on the turf, but he never looked like it. He was very athletic colt, and he trained very, very impressively on the spring here last summer. Again, his breezes and galloping out, every week he got better. He was very smooth, a very athletic colt, kept improving and progressing. But truthfully, I probably thought, even though he moved so well in the dirt, I thought ultimately he might end up on the turf. And now he's in the Derby, and if he runs well, he might never end up on the turf.
And you were the one that said, how do we talk for that long? You remember these horses. That's really impressive. Colin, your thoughts?
I couldn't agree more. They each had their own personalities and had shown to be special types all along. Each of them slightly different than the other, but now going after the same goal. And we couldn't be happy for them, for the connections. It is very exciting to watch them progress. To Dad's point, Essential Quality was always a very straightforward colt, easy to be around, very well-mannered, highly motivated. He's tremendous physical and a lovely training colt. And Mishawish, the Lemon Hero, Sainthood, again, very laid-back colt. You could do anything with him. Was very unassuming, but yet he did his job and he did it very well, and we're hopeful for all of them.
It's wonderful. So I guess if you have a trifecta, that's your 3, isn't it? Are you a gambling man?
Not really. And so probably, at the Derby, we always do a pool, and I'm sure it'll be exciting for the crew here because they're all a huge part of it. Obviously, they ride these horses, groom these horses, and our foreman and are involved with them, and our manager here, Alvaro. Yeah, I think everyone takes a lot of pride in that, and we're just very grateful that we're in this position every year, that we can have these kind of horses to work with and put us in a position to be this exciting. And because it's what drives everybody in the business and the owners, they want to win the big races and they want to be there on the day. And it's the Derby, of course, is what everyone's dream about.
And we did have the Blue Gas Exacta, so we're halfway there for our trifecta.
And you had a Dubai Cup winner, right? Dubai World Cup.
Godolphin, that was wonderful for Mike Stidham and Hilary Pridham to train him and brought him from America over to Dubai. So it was to win the Dubai World Cup and to be owned by Godolphin and Sheikh Mohammed. So I think it was a huge success all around, and a very talented colt. Hopefully he stays healthy. He'll have a great year this year in the older horse category, and I think I would imagine he'd only run a few more times with the few bigger races leading up to the Breeders' Cup Classic in November.
Exciting stuff, right?
It is. It certainly is. It keeps us all going. As I said, it's fun. And now there's a new crop of 2-year-olds, and we have the 2-year-old sales at the moment here in Ocala, which is exciting. And hopefully we'll have a good week there.
And then one final kind of point I want to make. Horses, if they don't make it or the end of their career that have trained here, you have a kind of an answer for that too, right?
Yeah, well, my wife set up a non-profit charity several years ago called Final Furlong Retirement. And really it was trying to rehab or watch over the horses that had been through our program, whether we had owned them or whether they were clients. And just when their racing careers seemed over, or they had injuries, or they just got older, we wanted them to know we have a place for them to retire and rehome them, rehab them into. So many of them can have great second careers as dressage horses, hunter jumpers, show jumping, 3-day eventing, or just pleasure horses. And she's got a big network of people now that come looking to adopt these horses, and we find them good homes. So it's kind of expanded. I think she's probably placed almost 200 horses over the last few years off the track and found them new homes, but they usually come back to us here first. Some of them are lifers. They may have certain injuries or that they allow them to be paddock sound, but they wouldn't go on to be jumpers or something like that. So we just basically have a couple of fields here, and they're just retirement paddocks, so they just live out their years here.
What a nice life. Niall, thank you so much for having us here. All the best in the Derby. Love to see you cross that finish line first with one of your graduates. Colin, thank you so much for being here, chatting to us, telling us about your program. We certainly are fortunate to have people like this right here in Ocala, the horse capital. So thank you to the Brennan family here at Niall Brennan Stables. I'm Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Peterson & Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, and Larson Hay, our broadcast and television sponsor, plus supporting sponsors, DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, All In Removal, TT Distributors, and the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Louisville.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
This show is sponsored in part by Hilton Garden Inn. Downtown Louisville, only 5 miles from Churchill Downs. Enjoy the 2 most exciting minutes in sports, plus a hearty breakfast and a mimosa, and let Hilton Garden Inn do the rest.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I'm Louisa Barton with the Horse Talk Show, and I'm here at Ocala Breeder Sales right now with a very well-known name in the horse capital of the world, and that is Eddie Woods, one of our thoroughbred trainers here, who almost every year, I think, has at least one in the Derby gate, meaning that he has one at least of the top 20 horses in the country every year. So he's definitely got a secret and a lot of success in his career. So I'm going to chat to him a little bit, first of all, about this year and about a very popular horse, Known Agenda, that he trained here. Eddie, thanks for being with us. We love to always talk to you because Breeders' Cup time and Triple Crown time, we always seem to need to chat to you for some reason. What's the secret to your success?
Good clients basically send you nice horses and they turn into good horses, and that's basically it. If you don't get the product, you can't turn it into anything.
This is true. How many do you have in this OBS sale?
37.
Any real shiners that you just love? I bet you've got quite a few, right?
There's a couple of nice horses there that we've had a good sale so far. Yesterday was very good. We started off today cracking, and we'll have a couple of lull spots, then a couple of more good spots. I don't think we have a breakout horse, but we've got several horses that are going to sell quite well, I believe.
And do you, it must be something you spend a lot of time, but do you recognize early on when you start training these horses that they're going to make it to the stakes races or necessarily be a really good horse?
You'll always suspect you have a chance with certain horses, and but more than that, you know when you're in trouble quicker than you know you're good.
That's faster. You can figure that one out quick. So tell us a little bit about this year's Derby. Known Agenda is very popular, I know. Irish breeding, actually a breeding here that you don't see all that often, and a good stamina horse, especially as they mature, a real potent horse, and that breed, that Irish breed, is actually phenomenal in my opinion. So can you tell us a little bit about Known Agenda, when you first met him, what you thought of him, and kind of how he matured?
Well, the first time we seen him was the Saratoga Yearling Sale with Dramola and Jerry Dilger, and he got RNA'd. We tried to buy him afterwards, and Vinny doesn't sell horses after the sale, either sells them in the ring or keeps them. So we kept him, and then they fortunately they sent him to me to go to the Gulfstream Park 2-year-old sale, and we were all set to go to that, and it got cancelled due to the virus thing, and he went on a different program. Then they decided we'll just keep him and go to the races, and he went on to Todd, and he's done what he's done. He was always a nice horse. He was never particularly fast. He was always remarkably quiet, and just classy acting, laid back, easy going horse.
So tell us a little bit about starting your horses. Do you have a particular method that you follow, or when you start them first under saddle, how do you go through that process?
I've got some really good help. I've got 4 people, Jesus, Raphael, Alex and Peru, and they start them off. And I leave them to do their thing. They've been doing it for me for years, and they do all the original stuff in the stall and the turning and all that, and they tell me when we have a problem or when things are great, and we come up with a formula for the problem, or we ease on when it's great. And but the whole thing needs to be really quiet and really slow. Nothing happens fast. Takes a while to get them out in the paddock, out in the round pen, and then to the paddocks, and good while in the paddocks, and then on out to, by the time, they're under tack for well over 30 days before they'd ever go to the racetrack. So they have a good foundation in them, and they're all very rideable and figure eights and all that kind of stuff. And but patience, just doing things slowly, is the only way to go.
Absolutely, certainly it is, and you've had a lot of success with that. Have you got any other kind of shining stars coming up that might show up in the Preakness or the Belmont?
We've another horse on the edge of the Derby, Rombar. He's got some points. I think he needs some friends to get in. I'm not quite up on the whole thing. He's not in the top 20. And then there's Bob Baffert has an SF horse, Hosier, that's still hanging on by his fingernails. And I think that's it at the moment. There are several horses that had done well early on, whose names I can't remember. Yes, they were nice horses. The one horse out of Enrichment, he got beaten in the Wood Memorial. He'll show back up somewhere again because he's a nice horse of Godolphins. And there's a couple of the SF horses, if they come back to their original strengths, they'd be nice horses.
Now, you attribute a lot of your success, obviously, to having wonderful clients that invest in incredible top horses, which is certainly key to your success, and your team, obviously, super important. Angela and everybody in your team is very important. But having been in the Derby starting gate so many years, as many years as I can certainly remember, with at least one horse, do you have a bucket list, and would that be the Triple Crown or a Breeders' Cup Classic, or when you look forward at what you'd like to accomplish, what do you think about that?
Well, we've won a Breeders' Cup Classic.
Who was that?
Bayern.
Oh, that's right.
And we've won all the legs of the Triple Crown. And Triple Crown horse would be a dream, but that's just, if that happens, it just happens. There's no plan for that. I don't know if there's a bucket list. I just, consistently turning out top-end horses is what you want to keep doing, and it's just the real good stuff will happen every now and then if you have the top-end horses.
That's right, and they all count, right? So
quite.
Wonderful. So we are here with Eddie Woods at Ocala Breeder Sales, and a gentleman that has horses, as I said, in the starting gate of the top stakes races in the country all the time, and will consistently carry on. And I have a feeling that if there's a guy that can do it, he'll have a Triple Crown winner. Thanks, Eddie. Any last words for our listeners?
No, everything is good.
Good luck at the OBS sale, and we hope to see you have some sale toppers this week.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this.
With your host, Louisa Barton.
What does it feel like to be in love with a horse?
Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience.
Back in the saddle again.
Now, here's your pretty Louisa Barton.
You're fab. You're switched on. You're a bit of all right. Yes. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
The Larson family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations, with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larson Hay loves to meet new customers while always honoring the ones they already have. Find Larson Hay on the web at larsonhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor. Equestrians, it's time to take care of yourself as well as you do your horse. So get down to Pulse Center of Ocala. The PEMF wave is safe, and it's a therapy that charges your cells and allows them to function at their fullest capacity, so you heal much faster. Check them out at pulsecenterfl.com now and tell them you heard about it on the Horse Talk Show for a free demo.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
This show is sponsored in part by Hilton Garden Inn. Downtown Louisville, only 5 miles from Churchill Downs. Enjoy the 2 most exciting minutes in sports, plus a hearty breakfast and a mimosa, and let Hilton Garden Inn do the rest.
This is Louisa Barton at the Horse Talk Show, and we're here at Ocala Breeder Sales for the 2-year-old in training sales, here with April Mayberry of Mayberry Farm, somebody who almost every year that I can remember has had a horse in the starting gate at the Kentucky Derby in the 2 most exciting minutes in sports. It takes a lot to be one of the top 20 horses in the country, and that's a big deal. But we're going to bring it back home here, first of all, to the last couple of days for Mayberry Farm, which have also been very exciting. I'm going to let April tell you about what happened here yesterday at OBS and today. Actually, their highest selling horses ever. So exciting. April, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Tell us about the last couple of days here at OBS.
Well, coming into the sale this year, I knew I had probably the best consignment I've ever had. And then going through the Breeze show, it was confirmed. As far as I was concerned, I had the best horses in a 2-year-old sale for me. And yesterday we sold the Distorted Humor for $550 and absolutely loved them and was so happy for the Connections. And that was our highest priced horse to date to sell. And then today we sold an Arrogate filly for $1 million, which is obviously a little better than $550. And it was just fantastic for everybody.
You just gave me goosebumps because I personally met Arrogate and loved him so much, and I was so sad when he passed away. I was absolutely devastated. So to hear not only as are his babies now moving on, but and being 2-year-olds, and you having one and getting such an incredible amount of money for such a phenomenal looking filly. Got to see her just here a few minutes ago and take some pictures of her. Very exciting. What did you like best about her? What was it you think that really got her to that price point for the buyer?
You know, everything she does, she's a late foal and she's a very good size. Her mind was absolutely fantastic. I mean, she handled everything the proper way. And when she came in from the September sale, she was, again, just so good-minded. And then when we saw her on the track, just moves just so fluid and effortlessly. And good horses always have to have a good mind. And those are the 2 things I loved about her. And she just always improved, just kept going the right way.
She really showed up at this sale for sure. So we absolutely want to congratulate you. I think that's so exciting. And honestly, I can't think of a team of people or a family that deserve it more, because you guys work so hard and you put so much effort and love. It is a labor of love. And I know there are times when it's not all great and perfect. But when you see something like this for people who deserve it so much, it makes me so happy for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And we do. We work very hard as a family, and it's in our blood, and I think it has to be, because everyone that's in this business, it's 7 days a week, and you really work hard. So when it pays off, it's a great thing.
It makes you want to celebrate. Yeah. Well, and taking this to like another level, as I mentioned, Mayberry Farm often, as far as I can remember, the last few years at least I can think of, they've had a horse that has made it to the Kentucky Derby, and 2021 is a repeat, which I'm glad to say. And Rock Your World is certainly in the favourites for the Kentucky Derby this year. So we're going to chat a little bit about Rock Your World and tell us what you remember about him when you first got him. He was a yearling and you started him and got him training. Tell us a little bit about him and his personality.
He was a very big horse, very big yearling with a big personality. And I mean, he was fairly good to break. Has a mind of his own, but I like that because very confident. He's very confident and knew that he wanted to do it. So, and that's what we look for, and the way they move, he moved beautiful. I remember one day the rider came up and I'm in the trainer's stand and the rider, was standing next to me on him and said, "April, this is a grade 1 horse." And I was like, great, happy to hear that. I'm sure the clients will be. And here we are a year later, and it's true.
How exciting. So did your rider said potentially a grade 1. You saw some things you thought, but did you think he might be a Derby horse at that time?
When you have a horse like that, you think that direction, but it's a long time, so they have to be able to put it all together. And I did think he had a shot at doing it. So it wasn't surprising, but as hard as it is to get to that, first Saturday in May, you count your blessings every day that it works out. So any difficulties with him? Any little quirky personality things, or give you a hard time at all? Very independent, which sometimes that can be good, sometimes it can be bad. As long as he thought everything was his idea, we were fine. If he didn't, then we would have a discussion. But at the end of the day, he was okay. So.
Do you, probably as busy as you are with the sale, you probably haven't had a lot of time to study it, but have you looked at any of his competition in the Derby? Any concerns there of a course that might beat him?
The horse that won at Keeneland, I mean, he was so impressive. So definitely that's who I'm afraid of. We'll see. It'll be East Coast versus West Coast when it comes down to it. So I think Rock Your World, he'll be ready, though. He'll be ready to take on the competition.
How do you feel about the distance of the Derby for him?
I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem at all. I don't think the surface is a problem. I think I think he'll prove himself on the day.
So a little tidbit of information. Steve Haskin, who's one of our favorite Hall of Fame turf writers in the whole world, we love having him on the show, and actually has your horse Rock Your World as his number 1 right now, and he watches them so closely. So I was very excited when I found out that was your horse, because I didn't know there was an Ocala connection at the time. I did my little post on Facebook. You jumped right in. I'm like, yes, because sometimes they're hard to find, So I'm really, really thrilled for you. I'm going to wish you the very best of luck. And where will you be on Derby Day?
In my living room watching it on TV. So probably have a little Derby party for my mother and sister and myself. And, that's what we'll be doing. So crossing our fingers and toes.
With all this excellence, and I mean there is a lot, and as you said, a lot of work hours, 7 days a week. How are you have family who will work with you, the whole family, which is lovely to see them with the $1 million horse. Your team has to be a huge part of this.
Definitely. You can't do that. This is not a single person sport, and it is a team from birth, from the broodmare section when they're babies and all the way through. And your help is very important. The riders that we use, when we're breaking them, you can make or break one. And it's all in the early learning, and then they move on to the next step. So everybody plays an important part from start to finish. So
So exciting. April Mayberry from Mayberry Farm. Rock Your World started there at the farm with the Mayberry team, and we'll be thrilled to watch and see if this and yet another Ocala connection crosses the finish line first in the two most exciting sports this year at the Kentucky Derby. I want to thank our sponsors that make this coverage of the Ocala Marion County Connections possible: Peterson and Smith, Equine Hospital, Seminole Feed Stores, Equus Inn, the newly renovated beautiful horse feature hotel on College Road there. Also want to thank the CEP, the Chamber, for helping to support this, as well as, of course, our hotel that we get to stay at in Louisville, the Hilton Garden Inn downtown on Chestnut Street. Thanks to April Mayberry for having us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a real honor. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show here at OBS. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Palm Chevrolet, and our broadcast and television sponsor, Larson Hay. And also to our supporting sponsors, Equisafe, Nirvana Medical Spa, Showcase Properties of Central Florida, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, and Summit Joint Performance. Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options, offering prejuvenation for younger clients and rejuvenation for all ages. Nirvana knows you want to look your very best, but we've all seen people with the telltale signs of too much work. We want you to look like you, just better, brighter and younger, with all the newest and best in technology and all in the most beautiful surroundings. Like Nirvana Medical Spa on Facebook and find them on the web at nirvanamedicalspa.com. Become a better, brighter and younger you.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and services hassle-free and easier than ever, with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy. Find new roads. This show is sponsored in part by Hilton Garden Inn. Downtown Louisville, only 5 miles from Churchill Downs. Enjoy the 2 most exciting minutes in sports, plus a hearty breakfast and a mimosa, and let Hilton Garden Inn do the rest.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I'm Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show, and we're here at Ocala Breeder Sales, and we had the opportunity to chat to somebody that's closely affiliated with the Kentucky Derby this year. We're very excited to meet Gail Rice here. And actually Medina Spirit, who is currently being trained by the one and only Bob Baffert, is actually training the horse that Gail bred. So we're going to chat to her a little bit about the birthing and what he was like and all kinds of good stuff. So Gail, tell us a little bit about Medina Spirit, and thank you so much for agreeing to join us like on the spur of the moment like this. Wonderful.
Well, you're welcome. I like to fly by the seat of my pants. Well, where do you want me to start?
Kind of at the beginning. I mean, you bred him, right? So he was at your farm.
He was at my farm.
And actually, his mom was at the farm when you...
was at the farm, and she was like 3 weeks overdue, and she didn't build her bag full of milk yet, and decided to go ahead and have the baby with no milk. And I'm like, okay, here comes this baby. And happened to save the milk from the other mare that I had, whose name is Scribbling Sarah, who is the mother of Speech, the grade 1 track record setter at Keeneland last year.
Scribbling Speech.
Her name is Speech. The mare's name was Scribbling Sarah.
Oh, Scribbling Sarah. Okay, I love that.
Yeah, and her baby's name is Speech, and she ran in the Oaks last year, and she's been fighting Gamine all year.
That's a tough fight. Gamine is a tough fight.
So anyway, I had frozen colostrum from Scribbling Sarah in the freezer, and I'm like, I have to go get the milk, thaw it out, give it to this baby. So he had first colostrum from Scribbling Sarah, who's a grade 1 producer. And I didn't know it at the time because Speech hadn't even run, in the stakes races at that point. 2018? So yeah, he got that, and then I gave the mare all the goodies, and she got the milk, and his second drink was from his own mother, but long-legged and beautiful black colt. I just loved him.
Were you there when he came into the world?
Yes. Yes. I was driving into the farm and she was laying down. And I run out there and I look and there's his 2 little feet sticking out. And I hollered to my son and his wife. I'm like, baby's coming, baby's coming. So they helped me get him out because he was quite leggy.
Really?
Yes.
Well, he's leggy, for sure.
Very leggy. And I love the way he moves those legs.
Now, how long was he with you after that?
I kept him till January of the next year, and that's when I sold him here at OBS.
Amazing. So in that first year of his life, any little habits, quirks, anything kind of neat about him that you just thought, wow, this guy's special?
The way he moved and he held himself up. He like would sit up and perk his little ears up and just look at the world. You know, you could see that he was looking for something. So he's got some other horse's spirit in him, I think. You know how they say they reincarnate or something. I think he's got it. He's got that special something.
Well, I have a 35-year-old and I sure hope he reincarnates.
Those are the ones we want.
Yes, he's been a lifer with me almost. So yeah, reincarnate, that would be wonderful. So tell us, during that first year, like any little habits, did you notice anything? I mean, obviously intelligent, you said, very long-legged. Sounds like he was probably very easy to get along with.
He was. He was very nice. And his mother was a great mom. She would discipline him, but then he would climb on her neck and she'd be very tolerant of him. But he was very independent. I had a little fence in their field and she would go on that side of the fence and he would stay over here. He wouldn't actually miss his mom very much, and I love that in a baby.
I'm sure makes him easier to wean, right?
That's what I was thinking the whole time. He's going to be really easy to wean.
And so was he?
Yes. He was. He was.
Probably ready, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I leave them till they're like 6 months or so. Mm-hmm. So the mother's like ready to get rid of them too.
How adorable. So you spent this time with him and then he came here to OBS and I think he sold for $1,000. Am I right?
Yes, he did. He did. I hated to lose him, but I had to sell. When you can only keep one horse, I picked Scribbling Sarah, the other mare, and, you know, I had to get rid of the other horses.
So was there a reason that he went for such a, I mean, literally a steal, especially considering what's happened now?
Oh, my. Yes. Well, Protonico, when I bred to him, I felt like he would be commercial. First year stallion by Giant's Causeway. He made almost $1 million. And it was a great cross for this mare. And he was in my price range, most importantly. So then he came the next year and nobody wanted horses by that stallion. And I didn't understand it, but the horse had only bred 30 mares.
So that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So really he didn't have a chance to be commercial or anything.
Stallion, and the mare has no black type for like 3 dams either. But she's got bloodlines. I mean, she's brilliant speed, unbridled, and, you know, on down her page, you can find some good blood. They just didn't have the black type. So commercially you're looking at, but the little bugger is a racehorse.
Clearly. Yeah. So interesting fact. I think he went through the 2-year-old sale like around 30,000, I think, 30 or 35,000.
I think it was 35. Because Christy bought him from me, and she said, this is a racehorse. I said, yeah, I know. I said, I don't know why anybody else isn't bidding on him. But it was pinhookers that come to OBS. So you know how that goes.
I do. So 35,000 is actually a steal for a horse that makes it really to the Derby or really any stakes race in actual fact. So really a steal. So interesting fact is that Bob Baffert trained another Florida bred who's very well known, Silver Charm. And Silver Charm won the exact same 2 races as Medina Spirit has. So that is a very good omen, in my opinion.
Goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps. We just keep talking. Yeah.
Yes. So I think about, first of all, Bob Baffert in the Kentucky Derby, which they sort of like go together these days as like, You know, oh, it's Bob Baffert, he's going to win, right? So then we have a Florida bred, which of course makes us all very excited, especially right here in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world. So that's a bonus. Then now we know you, and you bred him, and you have all this cute little stuff that you know about him as a baby, even having to drink another horse's milk. Who knows? Maybe that helped him out. But pretty cool story. But then the fact that he's followed in the hoof prints of Silver Charm, who we all love, Florida bred Silver Charm, and then getting to Bob Baffert's barn.
I know. What can a breeder, their dream come true is to have a horse go to the Derby, and also, who better to go to than Bob Baffert?
You can't really beat it, can you? So it's very exciting for us, and I bet Bob Baffert hasn't trained too many $1,000 yearlings or $35,000 2-year-olds either.
I doubt that. I highly doubt that. So I think this horse was a surprise to Bob. Following his breeze records and everything, I think this was the workhorse for the other horses that were more expensive. I don't know.
And do you think his breeding, his pedigree, do you think there's any stamina there for the distance?
Yes. Yeah, those pedigree analysis guys, they've been saying that.
And Steve Haskin, one of our favorite Hall of Fame turf riders in the whole world, said that it was one of his favorite breezes that he's seen in recent. So that's also a very good sign.
Yes. I'm praying.
I bet you are. Yes, where will you be when he runs?
I will be there.
Oh, good. So will we.
I'm going. My daughter is married to Jose Ortiz. Oh. So, yes, I'm going to go there. And I usually root for Jose to win, but maybe not this year.
Well, you know, with just about 20 seconds left, I'm going to say what an honor it is to meet you, first of all. Congratulations. Good luck. And may there be angels on the hoofs of Medina Spirit across the finish line so we can have another Florida bred win the Kentucky Derby.
Yes.
Thank you, Gail.
Amen to that.
Amen. I'm Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show with Gail Rice here at Ocala Breeder Sales, the horse capital of the world. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Palm Chevrolet, and our broadcast and television sponsor, Larson Hay. And also to our supporting sponsors, Equisafe, Nirvana Medical Spa, Showcase Properties of Central Florida, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, and Summit Joint Performance. World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Center Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs, EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Center now on Facebook and find them on the web at epcrehab.com.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
This show is sponsored in part by Hilton Garden Inn. Downtown Louisville, only 5 miles from Churchill Downs. Enjoy the 2 most exciting minutes in sports, plus a hearty breakfast and a mimosa, and let Hilton Garden Inn do the rest.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I'm Louisa Barton with the Horse Talk Show here at Mark Casse's farm in the horse capital of the world. We like to call Mark Ocala's Mark Casse because we like to claim him for many reasons. He's in both the Hall of Fame in the United States of America as of last year and 2016 inducted into the Hall of Fame in Canada with 12 Sovereign Awards, 5 Breeders' Cup wins, and a Preakness and Belmont win. I was able to witness those 2 horses coming back from the testing barn together when that happened. That was super exciting. And this year, again, is super exciting for the Mark Casse team because he's got 2 horses going into the Run for the Roses this year. So I'm going to start by talking to him about Helium, and then we'll hop over to Soup and Sandwich. What a fantastic name that is, Mark. Thank you so much for being with us again.
Well, thanks. It's always a pleasure, and means we're doing something right that you want to talk to us, right?
I always want to talk to you, no matter what. So,
well, I appreciate it.
Lovely to have you with us. Tell us a little bit about Helium. He's very tenacious. He's really shown himself to be very strong and brave. and his lead changes are phenomenal, just at the right time. Tell us a little bit more about him.
Well, I think, I've been doing this 40-some years, Louise, and I thought his win in the Tampa Bay Derby was the most impressive win of any horse I've ever trained, for a lot of reasons. One was that he hadn't ran in 4.5 months. Right there, that's a tough go. And then he had never run on dirt. He had always run on synthetic, and he never ran on around 2 turns. So you throw any one of those, that's enough to stop a horse. And then he had an extremely wide trip. It still amazes me. I've watched it a few times since, and that he actually won. I think they're underestimating him.
He went a long way, didn't he, on that trip?
Somebody said he's already been 1.25 miles. So the race was only 1 mile and 1/16. But and what we use, there's a lot of different barometers that they use for handicapping. We know Bayer. I use Thorograph. Thorograph not only looks at the time of the race, but how the distance traveled. So one horse may run a second faster, but if the horse ran 60 feet shorter, then that means something. And Helium ran a 3 on the Thorographs. The lower, the better. That for anybody that doesn't know, the Derby usually is won by 1/2 or 1. He ran a 3. That was off of 4.5 months. So I think there's a lot of improvement there, and he only has to improve a lot to be in the thick of it.
How about his most recent work? I think it was 23rd or so.
Well, he had an easy work this week. I worked him out of the gate, something you don't usually see out of a Derby horse, but we haven't run now. It'll be a couple months, and he did break a little slow in the Tampa Bay Derby, so I wanted him to be a little sharper, because I think he was able to overcome a slow start in the Tampa Bay Derby. I don't see him overcoming that type of start in the Kentucky Derby. So we need a better start. We need a little better position. A lot of people look at him as a deep closer, but that's not the case. That was only because he got left. He didn't break well. I could see him, I'm going to tell Julian to get him away from there, and I could see him more mid-pack. The interesting thing about Helium is, even after the Tampa Bay Derby, he doesn't get tired.
I know, I read that. I was quite excited to hear that he came out of that so well. And what a race, right from the back there. That was a heck of a race, and to not be tired, pretty impressive.
And he has this habit that's called winning. He's 3 for 3. So I'm very proud that, we're bringing 2 lightly raced horses that have only started 6 times in their lives, but have 5 wins in a second. So, you and I have been doing this for some time, and you've interviewed me many times for the Kentucky Derby. And a lot of times I will say to you, they'll need to run the race of their life and have the trip of their life to win or to run well. I don't feel that way here. I feel like with a good trip and a little improvement, both colts are going to be tough.
So let's talk about the second one. Love the name, Soup and Sandwich. I can't wait to hear that over the announcer there at Churchill Downs. Tell us a little bit about him. He didn't race as a 2-year-old, did he?
He did not. And first I want to say, I was recently asked what my favorite soup and sandwich is, and since I was a little boy, my mom would make me bean with bacon, Campbell soup, bean with bacon, and grilled cheese. So that is my official soup and sandwich. Back to the horse. We had him here at our training center in Ocala as a 2-year-old, and we thought he was exceptional at that time. He had a few little setbacks, and we sent him back to Live Oak. When we got him back from the Live Oak team, he was in tremendous shape. He didn't make his first start until, I think, January, and he was very impressive. And then when he won like that, we're like, could this horse possibly be a Derby horse? So my next plan was try to get a 2-turn race into him, and we got him an allowance race at Tampa. Ended up being a small field, but he learned a lot in that race. And then his Florida Derby race was very good. He can be a little naughty sometimes, and he was very naughty before the race, which we're working on. And then he didn't do his lead switch. He didn't switch leads properly. I think we've got those 2 things worked out. And back to the Thorograph, he ran a 1 3/4, which is extremely good. He only has to get a little better, and he's trained exceptionally well. Anybody knows I love Tyler Gaffleone. He won the Preakness for me, and he rode Warwill in the Kentucky Derby. When he worked him for the first time, which was 2 weeks ago, he pulled up and he said, "We're going to win the Kentucky Derby." And as excited as he would be about War of Will, he never once said that. Really? So we worked him again the other day, and when he pulled up, he called me and I said, "What do you think?" He said, "I stand by my statement." But on a funnier note, at the same time he worked Soup and Sandwich, Julian Leperoux, who rides Helium for us, had worked another horse for us, not Helium, but another horse together. And when Tyler said, we're going to win the Kentucky Derby, Julian said, "You should be a good second." So they've got a little rivalry going right now. And I said to David Carroll, who's my main assistant there in Kentucky, I said, "Does Julian like Helium?" He said, "I don't know, but he brings him mints twice a day." So I'd say he does.
That's a great story. That's wonderful. It must be very exciting for you. Is it going into this very exciting race? I know you want a Derby win. I want one for you more than anything. I can't think of a person who deserves one more than you, with the way that your team looks after these horses and trains them. I'm so excited. But is it tough going in with two? And are you a balancing act, or because you've got such great support and people on your team, it's no problem?
We have wonderful owners, and I can tell you that each one of them are, and I'm very proud to say they're Mark Casse fans. They're Casse Racing fans. And so I think if they can't win the Derby, they want the other one to win the Derby. So that's always nice. And I've been asked a few times, which one do I like best? I'm hoping for a dead heat. And I think both of them have strong chances. So it would be nice, if you know me, you've known me for a long time. I told my dad when I was 10 years old, I think, that I was going to win the Kentucky Derby. Unfortunately, he passed away 5 years ago on Tampa Derby Day. So hopefully he's up there watching and we can get it done.
I know that he is. When will you be headed over to Kentucky?
Well, I just, had a big sale, and so we're just getting over that. I'm not sure whether I'm going to make the draw on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm getting there a little later than normal, but I tend to get a little nervous when I get there, and everything's under control. So probably Tuesday or Wednesday.
Lovely. Mark, thank you so much. You are by far my favourite trainer in the whole world. We love the fact you're here in Ocala. We certainly claim you. And I would like to see a dead heat. Maybe it's a whisker with your two in the lead. That would be phenomenal. And we love, of course, that it's a Florida bred, Mrs. Weber's horse as well. So fantastic. Thank you. All the best. And thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Well, thank you so much. And I hope I can do Ocala proud. And there's nobody that's more Ocala in horse racing than Mrs. Weber.
That's right. What a great team. Thank you, Mark. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show, here with Hall of Fame trainer Mark Casse.